the problem is I think if they do end up trying to make their comeback, bro, they're gonna have to change their style of music to like different shit, bro.
Yeah.
Because that style of music that they were playing, bro, it's already gone, bro. It's dead and gone.
Unless you like Bad Bunny and you sell your soul.
Do you see? Oh, you think you sent me that video, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Did you send me a no? I've done seen that. I knew about that shit.
Yeah.
Because when he first came onto the scene, it was different, bro. He was different.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we'll start off the podcast. But so you want to be a Sicario, huh? That line, that movie, that shit's fucking the best shit ever, bro. I don't know why it was like such a simple line, but it had such a profound effect. It was like fucking...
The meaning behind it.
Yeah, like just the way it's like, okay, man, this fool's like about the business.
Yeah, you could tell like the way they wrote that in the script. It was just powerful, you know.
So you want to be a Sicario?
Yeah, there's a lot of movies. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. There's a lot of movies that are like that, bro. Like they'll use the most simplest lines.
Yeah.
And they always have like you said, a profound meaning.
Yeah.
It could be like just a one sentence thing, and it means a lot, you know.
Because out of both the movies, I mean, they're really good movies.
Yeah.
Even though they didn't have too much action, but like just that line alone, it just made that it hits hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's like anytime I think about that movie, I think about that scene.
Yeah.
But you said there's a third one coming out, huh?
There's a third one coming out.
Okay,
So I seen.
Well, did they release a trailer or anything like that?
Nah, not yet. It's just kind of speculation.
Yeah, they should drop it because they kind of left it off. I kind of hate how movies, they'll have like a cliffhanger and then they don't continue on.
I think so. From what I was reading, and it kind of ties in with the show, that Pablo Escobar show on Netflix. Narcos. Both of those kind of got some people riled up.
Yeah.
So I think they had to kind of cut back on it.
Oh, got it. That makes sense.
Because some of the stuff that they were doing, they were filming, like they were trying to film on location. So there was just stuff happening, and I think from what I read, so I think they had to back off. So I think that's why. And it's always one of those like sensitive subtopics, you know? So I think they had to back off. So
what are you thinking it was? Do you think it was mainly like the cartels telling them to back off, or do you Me personally, I think they're getting too close to exposing, or they did expose the truth, because the way the movie plays out, for anybody that doesn't know what I'm talking about Sicario, the movie. So anyways, in the first movie, it shows how the government goes in and causes chaos in these countries. And then what happens is when they take out like one of the leaders, it throws the whole country like
in shambles.
Yeah, and then everybody's fighting for power. And when you have anarchy and things like that, there's bodies that are piling up.
I don't think it was so much more on the U.S. side. I think it was more on the other side that wanted it to stop. Because sometimes, especially from my understanding, a lot of those the older gangsters, they don't like having all that fame around them, because then it kind of creates this thing over their lifestyle that they don't want. They don't want to attract too much attention. But the newer generation is different. They want that.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it was. But then I do see that, like you were saying about how the U.S. it gets exposed and stuff like that. They start, and you know damn well the U.S. doesn't like that, bro. Because you remember movies like that were about terrorism and stuff like that. Like remember when Zero Dark 30 came out?
I never saw it, but I've heard of it.
You should watch that movie. That's a good movie. When Zero Dark 30 came out, bro, like there was a big fucking hype around it, like about like after the movie about what happens, like how the U.S. goes into the Middle East, off some people, and then they fucking bounce and they create shambles. It's they do the same thing, bro.
And you know what happens when when this type of stuff starts coming out, people start demanding answers. So anytime things start pointing fingers, they have to change the narrative, or they have to cut everything. They have to be like, you guys got to stop production. This is where it ends. No, none of this shit. But like these guys, they go destabilize these countries and then they plant whoever they want. You get me? So I think like Sicario kind of relates to it in that way.
Yeah.
But people aren't gonna pay attention, you know, like the more you expose it, they're gonna be like, yo, these guys are tripping, they don't know shit, whatever. Because they've been so programmed. Like, you got to think about programming. The way programming works is that you're being programmed at such a young age. So like I was watching this podcast with this guy. He was talking about how people refer to this world as the Matrix.
Yeah.
And I was kind of having a hard time describing the Matrix, but he summed it up perfectly. So the Matrix is, we're growing up in a fixed system.
Mm-hmm.
So everything around us is created, like orchestrated. And so the things that are really going on, we don't know, but we believe the actual reality is what they want us to believe.
What they want us to believe,
So that's the Matrix. We're living in a...
Yeah, in a setup system.
Yeah.
Yeah, setup system.
And we think that it's actually real.
Real, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it's all a big play. The world is a stage.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Like, for example, like recently, what did they do with the women that went to space, supposedly?
Yeah. Call them astronauts.
Yeah. What was it? Was it the Katy Perry?
And then Jeff Bezos' wife. And then some other NASA like engineer or something like that, and somebody else.
And so I think they're subconsciously they're trying to control people to where they think that they try to put everybody against each other.
Yeah.
Race, gender, they're trying to put everybody against each other. Yeah. And then it's no longer about collaborating, it's all about competition now.
Yeah.
Even at the individual level, people are in competition. Like, people find like the smallest things to argue about and everything. And also just so like a group of families can control this shit. Cause like, bro, we all know that shit was fake, bro. There's no way.
Yeah.
That they went to space. I don't even, bro. Like, I heard about this shit through social media. I didn't even hear about it in general. Nobody's talking about them going to space or anything like that.
I've only heard it through social media too.
Yeah, it's like nobody gives a shit, bro.
No.
Like, okay, cool, you went to space. Now what?
You know what I feel like people are doing, because I started seeing it pop up on my YouTube stuff algorithm, is they're trying to push it out so much. They're trying to push it out, and I think this news has been old, like it's like a week old, no, 2 weeks old, and they're still trying to push it out like hard, like they're pushing it out, but
nobody cares.
And nobody cares, dude.
Yeah, like people are having a hard time eating and stuff like that, trying to make money. Everybody's busy being enslaved at work, being forced to go to work. Meanwhile, they expect people to care about like a lame moon, like space landing. Like, okay, big deal. Like, what is that gonna do? It's not gonna help feed people.
Have you seen? You probably know. Have you seen the videos of supposedly when they landed on the moon years ago?
Yeah,
like
bro.
A long time ago. The videos of that versus the videos now where you go to the moon, where they gone to the moon, bro. Like,
they went moon. The people recently, they went to the moon, or was it somewhere else?
No, like just like within the last 20 years, like people that have gone to the moon, like there's videos of it, right?
I didn't know.
And pictures and stuff. So how is it that they have pictures and stuff now, but they can't take video of it now? But there was perfectly fine video of it, like, 40, 50 years ago. That makes no sense.
I had a conversation with people, right? These homies at the gym. We were like just chopping it up for 2 hours, and they were like, "Bro, like people don't even care. Like the main thing people are worried about is going and having a beer. That's all people think about. Just going, chilling on the couch, having a beer."
That's the biggest pet peeve too I have is that people, I feel like they, like I see it happen like every day. Where they'll be like, "Oh, we're gonna go hang out after. We're gonna go to get a beer or whatever, get something to eat, whatever, or go catch the game." It's like, it's such a small, like, it's just like small-minded stuff. You know what I mean? Like, they don't see the big picture. They only think about like the small picture stuff, the stuff that they use to control us, like mentally. Like MK Ultra shit, like sports and stuff. To me, sports is MK Ultra, bro.
It is.
Like, you know what I mean? It is. And you know what, dude? I partake in it. Like, I freaking watch UFC and Formula. Like, I don't watch the mainstream stuff, like basketball and stuff and football and all that. I don't watch it, but dude, like, the fact that they pay more attention to that kind of bullshit than they do like the actual real stuff, But everybody's just brainwashed, man. Like, it's. And like you said, then they say to think about the kids. But it's like, bro, how can you say that if you're over here worrying about how much touchdowns this fucking fool has on the NFL?
Like money contract.
Yeah, and
like,
exactly.
Just going having a
beer. Or, dude, my team is cooked because so-and-so is getting traded to the Lions or whatever. Like, I hear that shit all the time.
We're the ones getting cooked.
Yeah, like, I hear that all the time at work. And I'm like, thinking in my mind, like, bro, like, if you're worried about this, bro, you're worrying about the wrong shit in life.
And then the strangest part is when you like explain to people, right? When they ask you for opinion or they want you to give your input on something, when you actually give your input, they look at you like you're some sort of alien.
Yeah.
And it's like, nah, bro, just go do your research, right?
Mm-hmm.
You'll tell them, you'll give them the information. You'll be like, go do the research, and they'll be like, nah, we don't have time for that.
We don't have time for that.
Like, bro, come on, man.
You know what I do? I retaliate back this way. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, you don't have time for it, but you have time to go look up how much players and what the trades are and how much contracts the Raiders are making, bro. Like, you got time for that, or what the Lakers are doing and what the Kings are doing. You got time for all that, but you don't got time for what, you know, like you got.
I'm not gonna lie, I used to be a bot straight up because I used to watch sports. I knew about all this like shit, like the truth, not at the level I understand it now, but I didn't know like all this shit that was being orchestrated, and that shit still had me like hypnotized. And I'm not gonna lie, I was an NPC because I knew better, and I shouldn't have cared. I should have been just doing more research or like learning how to make money and shit. But I think at that time I was kind of lost because I didn't know, like, the thing is, the way the system is designed, even though you know shit is going on, if it makes you kind of give up for a bit. Like, it makes you try to escape reality because then you're like, if I don't have something I'm progressing towards, whatever, I'll put it off and I'll go watch this game and shit. But then one day I was like, you know what, forget this shit. It's like, it's too, first off, it's fixed and it's taking up too much mental space for no reason. And so I cut it out.
Honestly, the fact that people spend so much time on memorizing a player's stats and stuff, to me, is meaningless information. Like, it's not doing anything to change my life or my outcome on my life. And then the amount of things they do to set up like a draft, and then to do like I got invited one time to do like the what is it called, the fantasy, bro. And at the time I was already getting out of sports. I didn't even know what was going on. Like, I never really got into football, honestly, or basketball. I would just do it just because my friends would do it, but dude, I had no idea what I was doing, bro. I didn't know what the trades or the people. Like, the fact that I had to go out of my way to go study this stuff, bro, personally, I thought it was a chore. Like, I told my homies, hey, this is the first and last time I'm doing this shit. Like, I can't do this. Yeah. You know, like, the fact that I got to go do homework on a player's stats just to see what I'm freaking doing next season, bro, nah. I don't have time for this. Like, I never really had time for it anyway.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about Bad Bunny. Yeah. He turned hella satanic, bro.
Not his new stuff. I listen to his old stuff, though.
It's crazy. Like, it's a night and day difference.
Yeah.
Between him, like, back in the day and now, like, the new one.
Yeah, his beats used to flow hella hard, but now stuff just sucks.
I never liked him. I don't know why.
Really? I didn't either.
When I first heard of him, it was when he had that song with Drake. It popped up on the YouTube recommended.
Drake? Which one?
Bad Bunny and Drake. I think it's called Esmia or some shit.
Oh, yeah.
Was that when he was old?
No, that was like in the middle of his career, I think.
When I saw that shit, I was like, who's this weirdo, bro?
There was way more, like, a lot more stuff better. That's when he started kind of falling off, in my opinion. He was getting more mainstream. Yeah. But when he first started coming on the scene, I didn't really care for him. But then my girl was like, I started listening to it because of her. And I liked it. It was cool. But his new stuff is whack, bro. Yeah. His new stuff's hella whack.
People will spend their hard-earned money. They'll spend a lot of money. They'll try to get their homies, friends, loved ones to spend money to go see that. All for what? Just so this guy can promote degeneracy, acting like a devil and shit. Like, he's dressed up like some kind of demon.
Like a demon, yeah.
Yeah, in hell, bro. Like.
But even the most innocent concerts too, bro, like Taylor Swift and shit.
Oh yeah, she's demonic too.
There is a lot of subliminal messages in that. Like, people are. I think, honestly, bro, I feel more worried about people spending money on Taylor Swift and Bad Bunny. Because, yeah, you go see that fool when he's wearing satanic shit. But, dude, these girls that are spending, like, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars just for, like, a top row ticket, bro. I'm like, dude, you're crazy, man. And then people will be spending, like, $9,000 for an up row ticket just to see Taylor. That's on another level, bro. That's too much money.
Not only that, when they're leaving the concert, it looks like hell. I've talked about this before. It's like a cult herd mentality. It's hella, like, weird, bro. And then on top of that, they say her music's all about heartbreak, right? Yeah. What does that type of music do? It keeps you in a lower vibration.
Yeah.
And that shit keeps you, like, down and shit. They're trying to keep you down, bro. Yep. But I don't know. You guys tell me. What do you guys think about that shit? I'm just here. You know what they say? Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just the messenger. I'm just trying to get the word out, man.
Personally, bro,
I've been telling homies like since I've been in, like, high school, bro.
Yeah.
ever since I got aware of this shit. Like, bro, I can go back from 2009 is when I started, bro. After I started going down the rabbit hole.
True. Speaking of concerts and stuff, dude, like, I went to that concert last week. Man, it's so trippy, bro. Like, it's hella trippy. Like, I feel like the only reason I was able to, like, look around and stuff is because the music wasn't of my interest or whatever. But, bro, have you been to a concert before or no? I would encourage you to go to one just to see how people are and how they react, bro. Because it's mind-blowing, dude. Like, you've been to the movies, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so think of it like a movie, right? And how, you know how people are just so fixated on the screen?
Oh, like hypnotized?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Shit.
Bro, you don't even know how much, like, and it's not like they're hypnotized, but I feel like people just don't realize it, bro. And I was literally looking around, right? Like, I was literally in my seat. And I was like, I felt like I was the only one that was not hypnotized, bro. But
that's like a scene out of a movie.
Bro, I swear to God, it was like, at some point when I was in the concert, bro, like, I was creeped out that I literally, I pulled my phone out and I was just like, I'm just going to scroll through IG, bro. I started scrolling through IG just to kind of get out of the
I think you sent us a message during that.
I did.
Yeah.
And then so I put my phone down and then I would just kind of start watching, like, the performance.
Yeah.
And then you get drawn in and then I would, like, snap out. I'm like, nah, this, like, whatever. Then I would go back and I would go on IG, bro. But literally, like, I paid attention to a lot of people, bro, like, around me in my surroundings. I'm like, yo, everybody, like, that's a good word, or you put it, bro. Literally, everybody was hypnotized, bro.
It's like you snapped out of the Matrix in that moment.
Bro. Yeah.
That must be a trip.
And I think, like I said, it made it easier for me because I wasn't into that music, and I don't like that. Like, I don't like that music. I don't listen to the artist. So I wasn't really locked in. And if that was my vibe of music, I would have been locked in. But that was literally the first time I've ever been like, oh shit, bro. Like, everybody's out here freaking getting influenced by, like, this is insane, dude.
What does he sing about Tito Double P?
I'm not gonna lie, bro, I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. Like, that's how much I was paying attention to the concert. But it's fascinating how much people were getting sucked into this stuff, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, aside from spending like $100 or whatever to go see this fool, but I wish I should have walked around too, but I didn't want to leave my girl, you know. But
yeah,
fuck, man, I wish I wanted to just at least do like one lap around and just see how freaking people were just zoned into this fool, dude. It was insane, man.
It's weird. There's
it's a different experience, bro.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of subliminal messaging going on. I don't know, maybe at his level, but I know like at the top level, there's a lot of that. Like, for example, Jay-Z, they say he changed his style to that sus painter.
Yeah.
What the hell is his name? Basquiat.
Jean-Michel Basquiat.
Basquiat, yeah. So they were talking about how this dude was a sus painter and Jay-Z was trying to dress like him, bro. So, like, these guys, they do these things. It has a meaning behind it. And this guy's at the top. He's shaking hand with political figures and people of that caliber. So, you know, a lot of these musicians, they don't have... Crazy. They're not just doing things randomly. It's always, like, planned.
Yeah, I think... I feel like I kind of figured out what they do when they're doing these concerts. It all has to do with sound. Like, so... Yeah. It's all sound. So, like,
the frequency.
It's the frequency. That's how they get to your mind, bro. Mm-hmm. It's almost the same way that how we watch movies. It's all sound. It's not really even the picture because
it's a trance.
It's a trance. Yeah. It's literally a trance, bro. Like, man, I don't even know how to explain it, bro.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's
like the frequency. They like they put you in the state where your brain is
hypnotized.
in a suggestible state.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why they do it. That's why they put these. I forgot who it was, but it was even before Kanye was saying it. But people were talking about how they have these certain frequencies. Mm-hmm. It puts your brain in a suggestive state. So like whatever the person's saying, it gets subliminally or it gets programmed in your subconscious. So then it becomes normalized, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna go do this.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they say do this drug or do that.
Yeah, then do that.
I was listening to that podcast today. I can send it to you if you want to listen to it. But there's a dude, right? He was saying like he didn't realize, he did a lot of research. He didn't realize that it was also white people affected by drugs. Because you know how we were told CIA pushed crack into black neighborhoods?
No, even white people were too, bro.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it from that.
It wasn't crack. It was just a different drug.
Yeah, opioids.
Opioids, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think about it from that perspective, right?
Yeah.
I was thought like, okay, maybe they did raves, but then I found out like after listening to it, I thought of it from a different perspective. After he brought it up, he said they were killing white people with opioids, and then in China, they got them hooked on opium. And shit like that. And where are they getting the opium from? I'm not gonna say. They're getting the opium from Afghanistan. So like, you know, there's like a lot of like big plays being made, and like a lot of people are like, oh no, these guys can't be that smart. But people how can I say, people are so small minded, bro. Like how can you not expect people to be like planning years ahead, bro? There's like years of planning that happens.
Oh yeah.
Like these big cities, they didn't come out of just like nowhere, you know. It took a lot of big planning. If people can come up and make big civilizations that are actually running, what makes them think that the next big moves can be planned out years in advance?
Facts.
So a lot of people, they're gonna write it off, but people, they're gonna be sheep, man. So that's why I'm like, yo, either pay attention or we're all gonna fall as society, fall enslaved. Yeah. We're already enslaved as it is, whether you believe it or not. But
I finally put one of my homies at work on this shit. Today. Yeah. Cause we were talking about something, right? And he was talking about work, and then I asked him, I was like, hey, did you know that schooling programs us for work? He goes, yeah, I know about that. He goes, how do you know? And I was like, I've always known. And he goes, are you talking about how we work 8 hours just like we would go to school 8 hours and we have our 2 10-minute breaks? I was like, yep. Damn, he goes, so you know, bro. He goes, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I was like, that's good. Everybody else that was like, they were listening to our conversation, they had no idea what was going on. They were just dumbfounded. I was like, yeah, how do you guys not know, bro?
It's like that movie. Have you seen They Live?
Oh, no, I haven't. No, I haven't.
Bro, it's an old movie, but I recommend everybody watch it. It's like, it's about these aliens that come to Earth, or they're running the game, pretty much. Like reptilians. You know how they say government is full of reptilians, whatever?
Yeah.
It kind of links to that. But anyways, so these reptilians, they're running, or aliens, whatever you want to call them, they're running the government. And then when this guy, he puts on these glasses, he starts to see all the programming. He sees the aliens. And then when he looks at the billboards, it says, you are a slave.
Oh, I've heard of this movie. Yeah,
it's with Roddy Piper, bro.
Yeah.
I hella want to get a shirt of that movie, but
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
What's his name? The MMA fighter, Jake Shields. He has one on his store. It's badass, bro. I was like, shit, bro. Yeah. I need to get my hands on a shirt like that. But originally, I wanted the They Live shirt, but after I saw the one he had, I was like, damn, I want that shirt.
Yeah, I know
it says we know this. It's a sick ass shirt, but it's like that They Live theme. But anyways, it's kind of like that. Once you start handing out people those glasses, right? They start to see shit for what it is. Once you open up somebody's mind, they're like, that's the thing they're trying to go against. Like people, like you'll ask a lot of people, you'll be like, hey, you know about Bill Gates trying to dim the sun? A lot of people are going to say no. They're going to be like, what the hell does that do?
Yeah.
Well, if you don't know, dimming the sun causes us not to get the sunlight, and that's really important for us, like to get the vitamin D, you know. On top of that, the crops, you need the crops. Yeah. It messes with the weather cycles and shit like that too. So if he's over here saying dim the sun and nobody cares, bro, that's gonna wreak havoc on us, because then they're gonna say there's a food shortage and shit like that, and they're gonna try to make us eat bugs.
Depression.
Oh, you're right.
A lot of people say that when you're in the sun, you're less likely to get depressed.
Yeah.
Than when you're in like an environment where it's just constantly foggy, rainy, and stuff like that. Yeah, it affects your mood.
And bro, he's coming out saying all this shit, and people aren't paying attention. Like, yo, what is this guy doing? He has no relation to like making
these kind of moves,
making decisions for what the world does, and he's over here like putting his hand in
Hand in
everything,
everything,
bro.
yeah.
Like, okay, you got money and shit, and people aren't, bro. Even his company, like, you find out that he ripped off somebody else. He didn't even create the shit. He just jacked somebody.
He just jacked somebody, yeah.
Yeah. So, if you guys have time, I recommend. I know people have time. I recommend watching They Live. It's a good movie. Watch it, and you'll see what the world is. It's a good movie, but that's all I have to say. You got anything else you want to add, bro?
No, I think I'm good. I mean, the only thing I really wanted to talk about was that whole concert experience. I haven't told anybody about it, because if I tell anybody about it, bro, they're gonna be like, dude, that's just in your head. It's fake. But
Nah,
it was crazy, bro. Like,
it's all set by design.
it's
bro,
all
the
set by
Matrix.
design. Yeah, like, you're right. Like, cause I don't have anybody. Like, I can't go and talk to my girl about it. I can't go talk to like my coworkers or my homies, my other homies about it, cause they're not about that. You know, and if I tell them, they're like, bro, you're crazy, bro. Like, that's what's in your mind. Like, you're stupid. That shit don't work like that.
Yeah.
You know. But and I told people, like, I was telling one of my homies, right? I was like, yeah, bro, it was boring. I was on my phone a lot. They're like, oh, bro, you're fucked up. You know, you should have, like, you know, your girl was there. You should spend more time with her. Like that. I was like, damn, dude. But like, it didn't click until I told somebody else that, like, I was doing that.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck. I was like, I remember now. Like, everybody was just freaking zoned in. Like robots.
You hear about this stuff all the time. Like they said, the Travis Scott concert. He had that shirt where it shows like people going through a portal or something, and it's like them going to hell or something like that. But luckily, I've been blessed, bro. I've had homies that have been like pretty aware of this shit. Just even before this whole conflict going on in the Middle East, this whole situation, I've been knowing about it since a kid. But anyways, but the people that are planning everything, luckily me and my homies, we've been talking about it since years, bro. We were talking about that shit. We were always talking every day. We were talking about groups that are running this shit. Now I'm seeing podcasts and people like talking about it, and they're not scared to get demonetized or whatever. Luckily,
No.
So now they're pushing it out. Like, I'm not gonna say names because then, you know, they might take this shit down or like people might get butthurt. But
it's kind of about time that people do that, though.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be the person, like, I was like that for a hot minute, because I couldn't talk to people about this shit, like, because I didn't have anybody to talk to about like this kind of stuff until just recently, probably with like the last year and a half with hanging out with you. But like, I knew a lot, and I would have this stuff in my head, bro. Like, I could talk to my brother about it, but my brother, I feel like, low-key thinks differently.
Yeah.
You know, like, but it just sucks that the general public, bro, they don't think about this, and they automatically assume that you're either crazy or you're stupid. Or
that's exactly what it is. They're like, oh, this guy's losing his shit, bro. But it's not that. Like, you're the ones that's becoming aware. Most people are avoiding these issues, you know, because it makes them uncomfortable, bro.
Yeah, it does.
Because a lot of people say, oh, when we find out, what do we do then? No, that it doesn't stop there. You gotta let everybody know.
Exactly.
Like, we could be living in a great part of life. We can be living in a golden age, bro, but we're being held back from our true potential.
The most I get to after that is like, what kind of drugs am I on? Or if I'm smoking or whatever. I'm like, dude, I'm not even on nothing, dude. Like, it's just, you know, like, there's another homie. I would like to talk to him and get him on the pod one day, because he thinks just like we do. And like, dude, I could talk to him about this shit for days, you know. It's my homie Abraham. But aside from him, bro, like, whenever we would get together and talk, like, one of our bosses would be like, hey, bro, stop talking about that. Like, he would tell us, like, stop talking about that bullshit, man. That you guys are talking about some fake stuff.
Damn.
He literally would tell us, hey, you guys need to stop rambling about that. Get back to work. Like, start doing things that are meaningful. The
Matrix.
Yeah, he would start telling us, get back to work, start talking to us about, start doing meaningful things. All this, you guys are worrying about things that are not even important.
What the hell?
Literally. We would talk, and this was during the 19 times, right? So we would be sitting there like, oh, bro, it's this and this. Like, we all had our ideas, like, about how it was, you know what I mean? I don't have to tell you. We would talk about that at work, and then he'd be like, I was like, yeah, bro, it's just, it's for sure planned. It's this and that. And then he'd be like, yeah, bro, it is, bro. Like, there's no way, you know, they want us to do this. They want us to do that. And our boss would come by and be like, hey, you guys don't talk about that. That's stupid. He'd be like, that's the most stupidest thing I heard. You guys are just stupid. You guys are spewing out nonsense.
Yeah.
Like, you guys need to get back to work to like do more important things.
See, if you notice, they're always okay with you questioning religion, but when you question this, and they're like, no. Yeah. And that's another thing I want to say. Like, this guy was talking about on the podcast about how South Park, like, we thought, oh, South Park is edgy. They're kind of making fun of everything. But it turns out, no. They're kind of demoralizing everything. So they're trying to make a mockery of everything. Which isn't right. You're not supposed to mock everything. And they're trying to make it normal. Like, oh, yeah, these groups are being sensitive and shit by mocking everybody. Like, they're mocking Christianity, and that's not right. But that's how it goes. Like, these people are fine with that. But, like, when you point out, like, this guy, he brought up, okay, like, so you got people that are, like, murderers, serial killers and shit, and people, like, let them, like, go. They want to take a picture with them or, like, interview them, talk to them, right? And, but when somebody actually points out the real issues that are going on, people are like, yo, that's not important and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But they're cool with, like, serial killers and shit, like stuff. That, whatever.
Rappers or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, and they look up to them. But, like, as soon as you expose the shit going on, they don't like having it. That's how deep people are programmed. But
oh yeah, it's a system, bro. It's rigged.
But that's all I have to say.
Same.
All right, guys, go watch They Live. It's an old movie, but it's really important.
Don't go to concerts. You're just gonna get brainwashed.
Do whatever you want. I don't give a shit. Just be aware of what's happening.
Facts.
But because you don't want to end up. Damn, I could go on another rant, but that's for another time.
Yep.
Tune in on the next one, and see you guys later.
Peace.